welcome to the Takarazuka Review Fan Podcast. By fans, for fans. I'm Lela, and with me today are...
Carly in much too cold New York.
Elin in Sweden.
Jen in New York with her red wine.
Oh, lucky.
Ooh, red wine.
So if I'm giggling a lot tonight, that's why.
Alright, so...
You just reminded me of a much better happy thing. Okay, let's keep going.
I'm really jealous of the red wine now, but it's 10 in the morning, and I don't really think I should start at 10. But anyway, let's hop on to our happy things. Elin, what's your happy thing?
Yep, my happy thing is that, we did this fan letter episode a while back, right? And we also discussed gifts. And before, still a bit, I have a lot of angst concerning gifts, like what to choose, and I think it's pretty hard. But after we did this episode, I feel very inspired, and I'm like, it's like a joyful thing. Think about gifts that I can potentially give someone in Takarazuka, which is really nice. It's like a new kind of feeling. So, that's my happy thing. Thank you,
Yay!
Jen.
Takarazuka fandom should not be
for
stressful.
sharing all your... No, the best Takarazuka is not stressful, and so thanks for sharing all your tips with me. I've taken notes, and yes, just very inspired right now.
Oh, you got that.
Yes.
Oh. Carly, what was your happy thing?
Well, the one.
Or what is your new happy thing
new
with the red
happy
wine?
thing is, so I don't know if everybody has been watching for OG Instagram lives. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so some of the more recently graduated millennial OGs on Instagram have been having Instagram lives, which is like a new thing, I guess, where you can broadcast yourself live on Instagram and it comes up in those little bubbles at the top and you can watch and you can leave comments and they address your comments. And the absolute hands down best ones are, oh gosh, what is her full stage name? I think it was Saizuki Tsukushi. She was a 97th in Yukigumi, and she retired last year, and she's had a couple, 3 maybe? I don't know how many Instagram lives she's had total. I've seen 3. The first one, she did a live Musumeyaku hair arrangement demonstration by herself, and that was really informative. The second 2, one of which was this morning, which is my super happy thing. She had some other OGs join her this morning. Who did she have on this morning? She had Ayanami Keito, who just retired after Chunichi, and she had Okarina, who was a 98th from Hanagumi, and Aotsuki Ren, who was a 100th from Tsukigumi also. And they were intoxicated and having a blast on Instagram Live this morning, and it was hilarious. It was so funny. At one point, Ayanami Keito stood up and performed like half of Greatest Hits by herself. They were all just like rolling and jumping. I have a couple of screenshots on my phone from it that I'll put on the blog because they're amazing. It's just every time they always do them like right before they go to bed, which I guess is silly hour or whatever. So I usually catch them right when I wake up in the morning before I start work, and it's just the best way to start a day. They're so funny. Find some young OGs to follow on Instagram and look for them.
So do they not stay on Instagram? Like it's only like it's there and then it's gone when they're done?
Yeah, they usually post a couple of pictures from it afterwards, but yeah, you can't watch it once it's over.
Gotcha.
Which is sad, because they're so funny.
Oh my man.
And they take live listener questions. It's really nice.
That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Jen, what was your happy thing?
So, at first I wasn't quite sure because, I don't know, I've been out of it lately, but then I realized I follow Ahi, Ryoga Haruhi's blog, and this week has just been her week to post crazy things. So, about 5 days ago, I opened up my, feed, and there's this giant picture of a roll of saran wrap, and I'm like, why is there a roll of saran wrap on my feed? And it's this enormous box of saran wrap, and he explained, she's like, yeah, I bought this at Costco 6 years ago, right after I retired from Takarazuka, and it finally ran out yesterday. And so she was all excited about it. And that was just such an Ahi thing, I had to laugh. But then she also went to see Grand Hotel the other day, and it was so cute. She went with her classmates, one of which is Ranju Tomu, and, I'm embarrassed to say I don't recognize the third person in the pictures with them, another classmate. But, yeah, she was like, oh my gosh, it was so much fun to see Tamakichi. And then she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that Grand Hotel was playing when we were taking our TMS exams 23 years ago. Dun, dun, dun. It was just, she's been having a fun Takarazuka week, so it made me happy.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, there's nothing to remind you of how old you suddenly feel as when something from your youth comes back as oh, look at this fun retro thing, and it's like, oh god,
It's new again.
You get that feeling. Right. Oh. So yes, hi. My happy thing is I have two, but I'll start with Ayakaze Sakina getting a photo book, and I found out basically by Kitty sending me a message, which is how I find out about a lot of news, through Kitty. And she basically went at me and said, oh, your fiancé is getting a photo book. So that's a running joke now that she's my fiancé. And I just went, well, that's awesome. I'll bring it with me to the wedding planning then. So it's coming out on the 25th of April, which is a great day because I'll have money by then. So that's going to be awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'll try to get that straight away. I'm hoping that they will have a lot of photos of her pretty little mole because I love that thing. Yes, I saw this. And then my other happy thing was that Kitty and I went to the Shonichi of Scarlet Pimpernel yesterday.
How was
so
it?
Today is Saturday after the Shonichi Friday. So it was amazing. I was not prepared for what it was going to be. I thought I was prepared, but I totally was not prepared for the awesomeness that is Benny as Percy. And they sang the pants off of that show.
Yeah.
It was so good. Everyone was just great. And Kai, wow. Yes. And Koto was amazing as Chauvelin. I know some people have said that it's Koto, she is very cute and everything. And I mean, she's a great singer, but is she actually going to manage to do Chauvelin? Yes. Yes, she does. Oh my god, it's great.
That's so cool.
Her voice is all there. Mm-hmm.
I saw some pictures of her and her magic contouring. It doesn't even look like her face. It's amazing.
She's kind of walking around fizzing in this rage on stage. It's amazing. Yes, so that was great.
That's so cool.
And then there were 4 curtain calls. Yeah. There were 4 curtain calls, and when Benny was stepping up to do her speech, it was really kind of a dream come true scenario for her. I think she's been waiting for this for many, many years, and she was saying that it was hitokakera no yume. It was just oh, and then her voice got all thick.
Aww.
who I thought, you know, like she was about to cry, and then she said, "Nakitsumoru de wa arimasen," or something. Like she said, I have no intention of crying," and then everyone laughed. And yeah, it was really, really great night. Even though we had to get Tachimi tickets, because yes,
It's Shonichi, yeah.
Basically, there's it's Shonichi. If you don't have a ticket, then you know you're gonna be in the line, and if you get Tachimi, you're kind of lucky. So we were really lucky, and then there was a lot of pain when we were on the train going home. But it was worth it.
Now, I've got a question, because I've only done Tachimi in the Grand Theater a couple of times, and it was never for, like, a special show. Now, I know in Tokyo, when you do, for Shonichi and Senshiraku, the final performances, if you want to do even Tachimi, you need to call a special phone number, like, the day before the day of. So, for Tojitsuken, which are the tickets they usually sell the day of, they make you call the day before, and you get a number, and then the day of, you have to go and stand in line, and then you get your tickets. Is it similar to that in the Grand Theater, or is it more like a regular Tojitsuken?
I've never heard of that before. It's more like regular Tojitsuken. Like, I haven't seen anyone having numbers or anything.
Yeah.
So you just turn up in whichever order you turn up, and then that's how lucky you are. Basically, yeah. We went to see Mirion's Taidan as well, and that was basically the same deal.
Yeah, I think it's just because Tokyo is so much more populated. It's the Tojitsuken lines were just getting out of control, so they decided to do it that way.
Is it stated on the website that you're supposed to do that?
Yes, they usually put it up the day before. I've gotten a couple tickets that way. I think I went and saw, like, Shonichi for Zoro. I think I got tickets that way. Tachimi tickets. Yeah.
Oh. Hey. What is it like at Tachimi? Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm getting off track of the entire episode, but
yeah, that's okay.
What is Tachimi like in... What is Tachimi like in Tokyo? Is the view good as well?
It's very different because Grand Theater, Tachimi, the standing are in the very back of the first floor, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In Tokyo, it's the very back of the balcony.
Oh.
So
okay.
It's very different kind of view. But I like watching from the balcony. So I've probably seen more shows from Tachimi in Tokyo than anything else. So.
Oh, that's really good to know, though, that you need to phone them. Because, is it okay to speak English when you do, or do they prefer Japanese?
I've never tried it in English. I've always just spoken Japanese. But they'll usually ask... I mean, you'll be waiting for a long time. Like, you'll have to keep calling back. And then they'll tell you that you've connected, and then they'll ask for your name, your phone number, and then they will give you a number in return, and they will tell you, like, what time and where to meet the next day. And it's usually, you don't meet, like, especially if it's a senshiraku, especially if it's, like, a big top star retirement senshiraku. It's kind of funny. If you've been to the Tokyo Theater before, one of the stairwells opens directly on the street, and you usually only use that as an exit when you're leaving the theater. You can't enter through that door, but what they'll do is they'll prop it open, and you'll come the day of, and they'll line people up by their numbers up the stairwell, like spiraling up. And then when they've got everyone and it's time, so you've got to be there on time, then they lead everybody down and you get your tickets. And if you didn't make it, then tough luck. The person behind you gets your ticket.
Okay.
So, yeah. It was fun. I enjoyed it the couple times I did it. Usually I couldn't get through. Like, it's tough to get through because everybody's calling at once. But I did it like maybe 3 or 4 times over about 4 years. So, yeah.
That sounds cool, though. It's a new experience for whenever it happens. Now, I'm constantly amazed by the organizational skill that goes into all of this. Like, the staff will come out and be like, right, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go here and you're going to go there. And now you're going to stand in this line and you're going to line up like this. And it's like, whoa, it's a very advanced machinery.
I got so thrown off. I'm sorry, we're still off topic. But, like, the only time I ever did Tojitsuken for Tachimi for, like, a really popular show, because usually when I go to the Grand Theater, there's still some seats left. Biseki or whatever. Like, if I never like had to do Tachimi until I went and I saw Elizabeth, the Moon Troop version in 2009, and it threw me off because their system was really different. And I don't know if it was just because it was such a popular show, but like they gave everybody a number and they told you to come back, and you all kind of like stood in one part of the lobby, and then they like see in Tokyo. The Tachimi actually have numbers on the railings of where you need to stand, depending on what your ticket says. But when I did Tachimi in the Grand Theater, they like opened the doors and everybody like stampeded in to get the best spot on the railing. Like there wasn't an assigned spot. And I was like, this is crazy! And I was like running in my high heels. It was it was really funny. I don't know if that's like
they just line you up outside the doors. They line you up outside the doors according to the number that you received when you purchased your ticket. And then if you're not there on time, so the Tachimi people will get there earlier than the people who have seated tickets. And then if you're not there on time, they tell you to, when they're about to let you in, they tell you to like step forward into the space that is left open by people who haven't arrived yet. And so even though people have received a ticket, they will then have to get into the back of the line once we're let into the theater.
See, that's just crazy to me. Because like Tokyo is like, even Tachimi, you basically buy a ticket and you stand in your assigned spot, and you don't have to wait outside and like rush in usually. If it's a regular show Tachimi, you just go and find your spot. I don't know, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. It does give you an advantage, though, if you have a later spot, like Kitty and I, because we get the first train from Kyoto. We literally can't get there any earlier. And we still got Tachimi tickets that were pretty far back. So if they didn't have that kind of system, then we definitely would not have been able to stand by the railing. We would always be behind people. And especially Kitty, because she's very, very short, that makes it really difficult for her to see. So we did manage to get a spot at the railing so Kitty could actually see the stage, which was great yesterday. So there are perks to that system as well.
In Tokyo, there's only spots along the railing. Like, there's nobody behind. So...
Okay.
Yeah, it's very different.
I think they do that to let people in. And, I mean, you see well even though you're standing in the second row. But the thing is that there's nothing for you to hold on to, so it's really hard on your back.
Yeah.
So there's that.
You want that railing to lean against.
Yeah. All right, shall we move on to the topic of today?
Sure.
Yes. All right, so today we're going to talk about news. And we have had some happy news and some sad news. But we'll start with some happy news, which was the Tsukigumi casting. Who would like to talk about that?
This is for All for One, which is their next Grand Theater show in July? I think it starts in July.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And this is a big 2-act Koike Sensei, nobody knows what's going to happen, something. And the big thing that everybody's talking about is that Chappie was cast as Louis the 14th. Which, I'll just throw my 2 cents in. I'm not convinced Louis the 14th is going to be a man.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
it
But he
sounds
could be,
very
I guess.
flamboyant.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I went and translated the blurb, and basically in the blurb, it's like, and then one day they discovered a secret which could shake the house of bourbon, and I'm like, okay, we all know what the secret's gonna be.
Yeah, wasn't
Yeah.
it something about him, like, instead of wanting to do sword fighting and stuff, he wanted to dance?
Yes,
Yes.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, if all kings had been
Yeah.
like that, it would have been a wonderful world.
Well, that reminds me very much of, wasn't it Kirian's Louis XIV who was the dancer in Seal of Roses? Has anybody else seen that show?
Yes. Oh my god. I had to like wait for that to bubble up out of the depths of my memory, but I love Kirian's Louis XIV and Seal of Roses.
Like,
It's
all
fantastic.
he wanted to do was dance his ballet. Oh, God.
So yeah, I think Chappie's gonna be a dancing lady king, personally.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know, some speculation that she might finally retire on it. I'm kind of hoping she's just around forever.
Yeah. Don't want to lose
But-
Chappie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think how many shows she's had. This would be her second Grand Theater show with Tamakichi, right? So that would be, I mean, sometimes they only have one overlap before they swap out partners, so that could be true.
Hmm.
There was somebody on Twitter made a chart graphic thingy showing that I believe every single Grand Theater show this year, except for All for One, as of yet, and I believe what will be the next Hoshigumi Grand Theater show will be either a Taidan or an Ohirome, which is kind of insane. And there is still time for All for One to join those ranks. So I guess we'll see what happens.
But you know what? It's not that crazy. I mean, all the top stars retire like 2, 3, 4, 5 years apart. And so it just works out that some years you get more retirements than others. Like, I know everybody's thinking it's a really crazy year, but like 2009 we had, like 2008, 2009 we had a ton of retirements too. I don't know.
2006 was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It just rolls around.
Yeah. They line up every once in a while.
It's still quite sad in the sense that we're like, oh, we're losing people. But at the same time, it's exciting because we're getting new things happening. So it's a sad thing for a long time, you know, very down. But then it becomes a happy thing eventually when we get new people to enjoy, or we finally get to enjoy the top stars that we've hoped will become top stars. But yes,
Yeah.
very.
Yeah.
Ay,
I've always been like one of those crazy people who was like, yay, retirements, because it means everybody's like shuffling around and new things are happening. But I think also, like, right now I'm not very invested in any of the Star Trek people, so I'm kind of like, okay,
Oh.
some people are retiring. I think, I don't know, like, yeah, kind of crazy. I'm getting old.
Oh.
When you get to that
But,
point where all the top stars are like 5 years younger than you, you're like,
I think
Ouch.
this is gonna be like the last round of top stars in my like age bracket. Which
Yeah.
is a little sad. Like, when Daimon and Benny and Mirio clear out, that's gonna be it for me. Everyone's gonna
Yeah.
be younger.
Luckily, there's always Hachi.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if we're counting Senka, but I don't know. It's a little sad if everybody older than you is in Senka.
Yeah.
I guess I can be really sad when somebody younger than me enters Senka. I don't think that's happened yet.
I think Sao Kurama is younger than me, so.
I think actually that Emma Naoki has lost 10 years, or maybe 20, since the end of Konjiki no Sabaku and the beginning of Scarlet Pimpernel.
Mm-hmm.
At some point there, because she looked so young, so sprightly and energetic. It was amazing.
She is sprightly and energetic. She's amazing.
So maybe that's an option. You just need to go to wherever they found the Fountain of Youth in Takarazuka and drink from it.
If I find it, I will definitely drink from it.
I'm ready to be that grandma with the blue hair. Like, I'm excited.
Well, we kind of moved into the Taidan area already, but the next topic is the Yukigumi Taidans. Now, how do we feel about that?
We feel sad about that.
Yes. Very sad.
There are people leaving who've been around for a long time, and that's always sad. I don't know, it's kind of like when you've been a fan long enough, you recognize flags and you know that after people have been there a certain number of years, there's a chance that they're going to retire with any show. So it's not like it's surprising or anything, but it's still sad to lose people who have been in your troupe since your 10 years retired favorite top star was still around and stuff like that. But the thing that I didn't already whine about on the internet in terms of Yukiguri Taiwan that's kind of interesting is they're already the smallest troupe by like 10 people. And after this next show, they're going to be down to 59. And that doesn't count the 103rd class because they will be assigned between Takarazuka and Tokyo of the next show. But I don't know, like even if they give Yukigumi more than they give all of the other troops, they're still going to be kind of short. So I suspect that because of all of these Taidans, another big round of transfers is on the horizon.
I think Asami Jun's transfer became a lot more important.
Yeah. The timing of her transfer still really annoys me.
So, out of the Yukigumi members who are retiring, who would you consider members who are still getting, if not like star tracked roles, but like the big juicy kind of roles? I'm guessing, is Hosho Dai, was she still getting kind of big roles?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay. Who else?
And Kaoru Shizuru always gets a solid role. And even Anri, Hoshino Anri, was getting about as big of Musume-yaku roles as you could hope for someone who, I think at one point she was Star Trekked and just there wasn't really, her window kind of closed because they were pushing her really hard for a long time, and then she just kept going, and now she is Ken 9 and it never really happened. So but she's always gotten good roles consistently.
So who do you think in the troupe is going to be moving up and taking those spots now?
That's a good question. I can tell you who I hope is going to be moving up and taking those spots. I mean, in terms of the Otokuyaku, I think to a degree there was just a little bit of upperclassmen overcrowding, so it's not like they're going to be leaving holes in terms of their personalities. They're not going to be leaving holes in terms of like somebody needs to fill that spot in the troupe. Like I think there are plenty of upperclassmen Otokuyaku still to distribute the roles to. I really don't know. There really aren't any Musumeyaku who they're heavily promoting, which is, I don't know. I'm curious to see if they move somebody in or if they start pushing somebody more, because I feel like I know very few of them, even though I follow the troupe.
Huh. So, like, the Shinko leads, have they kind of been spread out over a whole bunch of different actresses lately? From
A little bit. The one who they've been pushing the most is Irodori Michiru, who she had the Shinko lead in Kenshin, she had the Shinko lead in Hoshiai, and she was Yahiko in Kenshin also in the actual performance. And it looked for a while like they were grooming her to be Diamond's partner, and then when that didn't happen, they kind of, I guess it's too soon to say they stopped pushing her, but she didn't really have a role in Caleb Hunt at all. So it was a big drop off from Kenshin. So I'm curious if that was just like a one-off thing because of the way the show was, if they're still going to push her, or if they just kind of changed their minds. I don't know.
What about, I'm just like looking at TakaWiki because I don't know anybody in Yukigumi. Seina Nozomi? Is she?
Yeah,
Yes.
she gets a pretty visible role in most shows. Yeah. I don't really know where she's going, but she's somebody who I can at least see doing like what Henri has been doing, for sure.
I was a bit surprised when they moved Arisa Hitomi to Hoshigumi, or just like, you know, not specifically that they moved her to Hoshigumi, but that they moved her. Yeah, I felt she was like, well, it means they move people for like when they push people, I guess, right? But I liked her in Yuki, and I felt like she could have, I don't know, just gotten bigger roles and like filled.
I think
that gap.
sometimes they move people to fill in strengths too, like not necessarily with an eye to promotions, but just like if they need more dancers, like they'll move dancers, or if they need more singers. I don't know.
I don't know. I really like her also, and I'm sad that she got moved because I really like her, but I'm also happy for her because I think it's so hard to say, especially with Miss Miyaku. But I think if she had stayed in Yukigumi, her chances of ever becoming a top star were pretty much zero, because she and Maya Kiho are classmates, and just by the time their run is over, I think the 98th window is pretty much going to be closed with how young they've been picking top Musumeyaku lately. But in Hoshigumi, I feel like she has a chance. It's still hard to say, but I think there's a shot that she might still make it. So I'm happy for her. I think it was a good move for her career-wise. She's got Marguerite in the Shinko, doesn't she?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she's got the Nibante in Scarlet Pimpernel, really, she's got Marie, so... How was she in Scarlet Pimpernel?
I thought that they were all really, really excellent. Like, I was so overwhelmed with being there as well that I couldn't pick out every single face or everything. But everyone was very cute. Everyone sounded really good. And unfortunately, I don't know her face by sight. Like, I need to have her pointed out to me. unfortunately.
She was the one who was like, how would you describe Maria's role? She's like the friend who has Louis in the
She's Armand's
yeah.
okay. Yeah, she was really good. She was. Definitely. I enjoyed her singing, and yeah, there was nothing that I didn't like. Saying it that way instead.
Sometimes that's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, I felt like they had good chemistry. So
The other thing with the impending Yukigumi tie-downs that I'm a little, I guess, sad about is it doesn't look like Chigi's going to have a dinner show, which I'm not really surprised that she doesn't want to have a dinner show, but it also looks like Miyu's not going to have a music salon, and I kind of wish she would have a music salon.
oh.
What?
I mean, I guess there's still time, but like they're in rehearsal for the show. It seems like if they announced it now, it would be pretty late.
Oh yeah, I mean sometimes they slip them in between the Grand Theater run and the Tokyo run, but yeah, especially since they've already announced Asuka Manato's dinner show for her retirement, and that's going to be after, right? I'm losing track of when everyone's retiring.
Yeah, she'll be leaving in November now. And they announced her dinner show almost immediately after she announced. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that they're not gonna do them, which is a little sad.
Aww.
That is sad. Oh.
I especially now that some of the retiring top Musumeyaku are younger, like Chappie and Fuchan chose some of the, I'll say, trashy idol music that I prefer to put in their dinner, not their dinner shows, their music salons. So I've been enjoying them, and I was hoping that Miu would also do one.
Oh, do you not have any other gens on the horizon who may cater to that specific area of trashy music?
Trashy music. I don't really know their taste in music. I mean, I found out about this like when the set lists for the music salons came out.
Oh, okay.
Like, back since high school, like 2002-ish, I was a really big Hello Project fan, and some Hello Project showed up in Chappie's music salon, so I was excited.
Oh, yeah. I think every generation of kids, if that is the appropriate word to use, but like every generation has its own songs that they really connect to and feel like they're very natsukashi. So like very, I'm losing my English. Nostalgic. So it's understandable that some people would choose particular songs, and that those very same songs will speak loudly to other people who are of the same generation. So I guess that's a little bit sad.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
other people. Hey.
I totally forgot that Chappie had her. I guess they called it a musical performance instead of a musical salon, since it wasn't like her retirement
I don't remember
show.
what
But
they called it.
yeah, that's
was
pretty
weird.
unusual.
I thought
for
for sure she was
Musumeyaku to
leaving.
have. Yeah. It's kind of nice that she got that kind of
Isn't
treatment.
Chappie quite special?
But see, now Hanafusa Mari, I would have argued, was even more special. And she didn't do anything with her retirement. I remember her fans were pissed. She didn't have but it was her choice because everybody said she didn't want to outshine because she retired with Wow Yoka, and everybody was like, well, she's stepping back so Wow Yoka can like get the spotlight, because really Hanafusa Mari was much more of a big star than her Otokoyaku star, which is very rare and unusual. But because she was like, she had what, 5 top star partners? Like
5 partners.
Yeah, she was just, and she was a top star for 12 years. Like,
yes.
I can't even imagine that. And so she retired without, she didn't have like a farewell show. She didn't have a like musical salon or anything like that. She didn't have like a photo album when she retired. And her fans were pretty upset about it all. So, I mean, Chappie, I like Chappie a lot. But compared to like, I don't know.
I feel as though people in general, and I think that this is really cute, but I think fans, Western fans, are very, very excited whenever something cool happens with Chappie, and a lot of cool stuff do happen for Chappie. So I think it's very, very cute that everyone's super excited that she's getting a role that's initially at least a male role, and that basically cool things are happening to her. And she's been with us for quite a while now, which, like, how many years is she on at this point?
2005? Since
4 or 5.
Right?
Yeah. This is her 5th year.
And I'm personally not ready to lose her because I think that she still brings a lot to the Tsukigumi table that I want to keep seeing.
Yeah, I was like waiting for her to get like transferred over to Yukigumi or something crazy like that, because I feel like all of the newer fans, the top stars have been very like rote the last couple of years. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, of course the Nibante will be the next top star. And I'm like, no, that's not always how it goes. So I'm waiting for like that bomb to drop and everybody to go, oh my god, what happened?
Yeah.
You want to see the outrage?
Yes, it's so much fun. Or not just the outrage, but just people being like really excited about it and like surprise, I guess. I mean, of course everybody's happy, but it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, of course Daimon's going to be the next top star. Whereas I was just like waiting for that like last minute snafu.
So Jen, what was the last time I'll say an Otokoyaku top star announcement was just a complete bombshell?
Oh gosh.
I feel like it's a lot more common to have no idea who they're going to pick for their Musumeyaku partner. Like, sometimes you can obviously tell, but sometimes not.
I want to say Mi-chan and Yuhi were probably the last 2 that were surprises. Don't you think?
I was going to say Mi-chan was kind of a surprise. And that wasn't that long ago.
Nah. Well, when did Mi-chan become top star? Because it feels like it's not that long ago, but I think in fandom years.
Could it have been
2015?
Yeah. And then she was only top star for was it 2 years almost?
Like a year and a half, yeah.
Okay.
She had a short run. So it wasn't that long ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Gosh, I'm really scared now. I'm like, no, Meteor has to stay. She can't go. Everyone else is like changed around her. I mean, she was there for all of Michan's run, and now she's going to have been there for all of Markun's run as well. It's like, oh no.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Makun did not last as long as I thought she was going to.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was slightly strange that Mirion was having her Taidan and then they didn't name a next Musumeyaku top, but then they did the same thing for Senajun. So I was like, okay, it could happen, but I'm also not, like, I wasn't stunned that she announced her Taidan.
Yeah. There were a bunch of clues that just like popped up all at the same time. Like first they didn't announce the next top Musumeyaku, and then she announced this solo dance show that's coming in the summer. And then her next show title was like kind of iffy, and I don't know.
Yeah.
They all happened
Plus,
very quickly.
Everybody's talking about how short her run was, but she's still like the third longest top star run in Cosmos Troop.
Yeah.
Oh.
It wasn't short.
No.
I mean, she'll have more than 2 years, right? By the time she
Almost
or
three,
about
but
2 years.
almost three by the time she retires.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a totally normal. I don't know. It's a totally normal length run. I just thought she you know, sometimes top stars really like start wasting away, and you know it's coming, and she just always seemed like she had more in her. Although once Miriam announced her retirement, I guess the mood kind of changed or something. I don't know. I'm disappointed that she couldn't hang on for one more. I love them together so much. Like, I wonder. This stuff always makes me wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Like, I hope Miriam just has some kind of amazing show lined up right after she retires that's time sensitive or something. Because otherwise, like, if Makun knew she was going to leave and Miriam knew she was going to leave, it just, like, they're so close together, it seems like they could have hooked up, you know?
So here's my question for everybody, because I would notice like everybody was posting online, and I feel like the overwhelming fan response was, oh, this is so cute. Like, Asuka Manato is letting her retire on her own and giving her the limelight so she can have her own sayonara show. But I feel like, Carly, you're like, they should retire together, like a true golden combi. Like, so do you prefer
That's my selfish perspective.
So, like, what does everybody...
If that was, like... I don't know. If that was, in fact, the reason, like, if she wanted to give Miriam her own spotlight, I do think that's really sweet. But I don't know. I love them together so much. I don't want 2 shows where they're not together.
Oh.
I agree with Carly. Like, I'm not super into Sora Gumi. It's like, yeah, they're nice. But I don't like. I wasn't particularly sad that she's leaving, because I'm sort of more looking forward to Yurika's top star. But I do like when combis tie down together. Like when they leave together, I think that's nice. But I do also see the what everyone's writing, that she gets her own spotlight, like Miriam gets her own spotlight, which is also nice. But so hard.
Yeah.
Now, I think the Musumeyaku should get a sayonara show anyway. Like, even if they do tied on together, like, that's the real issue. I guess
They do tie down together. They usually do, like, they do some duets together and things in the sayonara show, so it's not, but it isn't the same, you know? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention or what, but did Kana Maria get a sayonara show? Does anybody know?
I think she did.
I feel like I didn't see pictures from it, but I saw a bunch of pictures from Miriam's. But that could just be because I've tailored my Twitter feed to be primarily Yukigumi and Soragumi.
No, I think she
I was
had
just
a
thinking
red
about that when I
dress.
saw Miriam's.
I think she had a red
Oh,
dress,
yeah, okay.
but I wasn't there to see it, unfortunately, but because school things. But I think, yeah, I seem to remember. But I personally am a firm believer of the whole Makun wanting Miriam to have her own spotlight version of things, because
It's a nice version.
during the Senshuraku, she was very, I don't want to say pushy, but she was very encouraging towards Miriam and being very like, this is your moment, this is your time kind of thing. So she was telling her to do the kind of sign off thing as well, so at the end of some Senshurakus, or is it all of them, but they tend to like have a little shout that the audience is supposed to join in on. And this time, because it was the Yosakoi thing, it was dokoisho, soran soragumi, and Makun told Mirion to do it. So that was like really cute, and she was always emphasizing that this was Mirion's moment. And then the next day when her Taidan announcement came out, she actually said that, I'm so sorry that my Taidan announcement is coming today during this time that is supposed to be all about Mirion. So I definitely feel as though that was the intention with Makun doing it this way. But I mean, obviously, it can't be sure, but that is what I'm interpreting it as.
I'm just going to jump in here. I googled, yes, Kano Maria did have a sayonara show.
Thank you.
Hi, sorry, I killed the topic. But who do we think is going to Taidan with Makun?
I don't know who, but I know who I'm like scared is going to Taidan. I don't know. Soragumi is so like, I just feel like they're gonna be really shaken up really soon. They're like so stacked and so they're like too perfect. There's a lot of competition like in consecutive classes, and there's a lot of still very charismatic upperclassmen and not a lot of people left with Okikaname, so I think more might leave with Makun, sadly.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's usually only like 2 or 3 upperclassmen who are older than the top star. So
Yeah.
And right now there's 1, 2, 3,
And there's
4, 5, 6. There's 7 people above Makaze if she becomes the next top star. So
Yeah, so I think it'll be similar to Yukigumi now, where probably 3 fairly high-profile upperclassmen might take off.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
But like Makaze is so ready for the top star position though. Like it's like her pants are on fire. She's still ready.
I
just
actually
oh
the
my
one
God.
specific person I'm wondering about is Naomi Urata. I'm thinking might go with Makun because they like if she doesn't and if she was going to be Makaze's partner, there is absolutely no reason why they wouldn't have just named her top star already for this last show. So I was kind of wondering about her. But like on that topic, Makaze is about as sure of a thing as Daimon was, but I have no freaking idea who her partner is going to be at all. It could be literally anybody. Like the whole not naming somebody thing makes me wonder if they don't have somebody in Soragumi in mind for her.
Oh, because I was really hoping for Urara because I really like Urara. But
yeah, I mean, if it's the 2 in Soragumi who they've been obviously pushing are Naomi Urara and Hoshikaze Madoka, but I just think if it was going to be one of them, why not just name her top star? Like, there have been plenty of Musumeyaku who were the top star for Ano Tokuyaku's last show and then just stayed on. Like, that's a pretty common thing. So I think it would be really weird if it turned out to be one of them, but not until Makaze. I don't know. That's just my perception. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have no idea who it's going to be.
has she ever been partnered with Urara?
I don't know.
I know she's been partnered with Madoka. Yeah. See, I just every time people tell me that Makaze is like ready to be a top star, I start like bursting out into like laughter because she's still this like totally awkward Kenny like Hoshigumi girl to me. I don't.
Oh.
You gotta go see her. She's a different person. It blew
Oh
my
my
mind.
God.
When I saw Shakespeare last year, I was legitimately like, who even is that? It's insane. She's not the same person.
Oh my god. I think I've told the handshaking story like 50 times, so I won't tell the handshaking story again. But, like...
Oh, do tell the handshaking story.
So, like... Makaze's tall, right? Even for an otokoyaku. She kind of stood out, at least in the crowd in Hoshigumi. So we went and saw... It must have been Scarlet Pimpernel. I went with a friend of mine who wasn't really a Takarazuka fan, but I turned her into one. And I dragged her to see Scarlet Pimpernel with me, and that was her first Takarazuka show. So, like... But she picked out Makaze from, like, the background role of whatever she was playing in Scarlet Pimpernel, which was, you know, like, the soldiers or whatever. Probably because she was the tallest one in the back. And she decided she really liked her. And so we went back and saw it again. And she was like, oh, I really like this person. And somebody overheard her. And they were like, oh, you like Makaze? Great, come with me. And she, like, grabbed us and, like, dragged us across the street. This was, like, a 2-show day, so it's, like, dark. It's nighttime. And so she takes us over to the hotel side of the street across the from the theater. And that's where Makaze was meeting up with her group of fans. Like, she didn't have a club yet. And so she had maybe, like, eight fans that were just meeting and talking. Because she joined in 2006, so she was only been in Takarazuka for 2 years. And they were like, oh my gosh, foreign fans, this is amazing! And so Makaze comes up, and all of her fans are, like, more excited about my friend than they are about Makaze. They're like, Makaze-kun! This girl's from America, so you have to shake her hand. And my friend and I are like, oh my god. Because we knew this was not, like, what you did in Takarazuka. So we were like, no, it's okay, really, it's okay. And they're like, no, you've got to shake her hand. And Makaze's just standing there like, what? It's too late for this. I can't deal with this. So she shook my friend's hand, and then she's like, and their friends are like, oh, and this one too, you've got to shake this one's hand. And I'm like, I'm not even a fan. I didn't say that out loud, but I'm like, okay, sure. So poor Makaze had to, like, shake our hands. She had no idea what was going on, and my friend and I were, like, mortified. But she was a good sport about it, so. But for me, this is always, like, this derp is gonna be like Makaze in my head for the rest of my life. Like, she's never gonna grow out of that.
Oh, that's a great story.
Oh, and that's how fans bully Takarazuka.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I can understand why she would be firmly etched into your mind as this slightly awkward Ken too. Shion. Oh, okay. Yes. Do we want to say anything else about the future of Soragumi? I just want to say Kiho Kanata because I love saying her name and I'm now slightly obsessed. She's great and I want good things to happen to her. I don't know.
Who is she?
She's like a very backgroundy type of Shinko person. But she was Togawa, like the tour guide who works with Reiko. So that's Mirion's character in the Honkoan. But yeah, like freaking out tour guide person. That was Kiho Kanata in the Shinko. Just a little squirrel.
Oh, she's cute. Sorry, I'm looking at.
She's really cute. Yeah. No, and now I want to see, like, I want to rewatch all of the Soragumi stuff that I have, and I want to watch all of the Shinkos and stuff because I'm like, oh, I love Kiho Kanata now. She's great. I think actually in the Honkoan of Ohi no Yakata, I thought I could pick her out, and she was in a scene with all of the Parisians, and she's one of the Parisians, and she's doing the squirrel thing in, like, the streets of Paris. But yeah, so you know, because like everyone else is like coupled up and stuff, and she's just like running around on her own, squirreling about, like bumping into people and going like ah. So yeah, so she's a tiny, but I still want awesome things to happen to her. I don't know what are your thoughts about the lower classmen getting bigger roles with the future of Sora?
Ooh. She was a black angel.
Don't know.
Well, there's a lot of Star Trek in Soragumi, which almost guarantees that not all of them are going to stay on the Star Trek, and definitely guarantees that not all of them are going to stay on the Star Trek in Soragumi. So, something's got to give. Something's going to give.
Is Riku still considered Star Trek?
I think Riku lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't heard anything about her in years.
Yeah, I mean, she's still getting good roles, but I remember the first time I went to Japan, it looked like she had the edge over Ai-chan, and Ai-chan has hands down won the Sanbante position, I think. So,
what do you think is going to happen to Ai-chan, though? Is she going to be Nibante?
She's going to be Nibante, unless they move people around. But I can't think of a place of a troupe that has a spot for her. So, like, I don't see why they would move her.
I feel like she's got good chemistry with Makaze.
It's so, I don't know. They've made such a thing out of Makun and Makaze that I feel like I haven't seen a lot of Ai-chan and Makaze together. So I don't know. I would have to see more.
Okay.
But yeah, Sakuragi Minato, and then down from Sakuragi Minato, like 4 consecutive classes. There's just a lot of competition.
So, not to like put a bummer on things, but I'm like looking at the cast that was announced for A-Motion, and I see a lot of upperclassmen in there, and I know that would kind of be an opportunity to give them a chance to shine before retirement. So I wonder if that is kind of a clue that, like, Junya Chitose, Sumiki Sayato.
I think the other reason is the other show that's going on is Sakuragi Minato is leading a battle hall, so they probably don't want to put too many people older than her in that cast.
I've seen them do a lot of older people in the cast, though, depending on what kind of roles is in the show.
So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Okay, shall we move on to the really, really, really happy news?
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so Diamond is going to be top star of Yukigumi. Omedetou! And who is she going to have as her Musume?
Maya Kiho.
Who is a really, really great singer.
That was avoided.
They are going to make really, really, really beautiful music together. They both have incredible voices, like truly incredible. And I'm excited to hear them sing together.
Yes.
Definitely. What shows do we hope that they're going to have to show off their amazing singing skills?
That's a good question.
Phantom. Yeah, we have already decided it's gonna be Phantom. They can't change this now. I feel like I'd be so disappointed.
I'm pretty sure Diamond probably wants to do Phantom as well.
I wonder if they're gonna go kind of an Osa-esque way with her, because I mean they're already doing Kohakuiro. I could see them doing a lot of suit shows for Daimon.
Definitely. I'm really curious to see what her top star characters are going to be like, actually, because I don't want to say she's been typecast, but they've given her a lot of villains and kind of creepy, sleazy characters, not just in Grand Theater shows, but in her small theater leads also. And I think she's really, really good at that type of role, and obviously they're not going to make the top star, the villain ever. So I hope that
never say never.
I guess never say never. That would be interesting. I hope that I hope she gets some good original shows. I hope they write some interesting characters for her. I think she does best when she's kind of pushed out of her comfort zone. So I hope they're willing to do that. What do you hope, Jen?
I suddenly really, really, really want her to do the pirate show. Arankei's pirate show.
Oh, El Halcón?
That would be... Yes. That would be nice and
I had an El
sleazy for
Halcón
her.
thought the other day. I actually had a Hanagumi El Halcón dream, as in, I was just, oh, wouldn't it be great? Because, like, Sena Ayase and Mirio would do so well, and then Kiki could have a slightly, like, ragey role, but still a good person, because she does really well with that. And I was just like, oh, I had, like, this little mini dream suddenly in the middle of the day, and I was like, oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? But I can definitely see Daimon as Tyrian. I could see her as Tyrian, yes. She would be most excellent.
I've been jokingly saying, well, I mean jokingly, but like if it actually happened, I'd be so excited that I want them to do Love and Dream again, except with only Disney villain songs.
Oh,
For Diamond. That'll never happen.
oh.
I'm looking at how Toho definitely has the rights to Romeo and Juliet right now, and somebody is gonna do it, and I hope it's not Diamond. Like, I hope they have the rights long enough to give it to somebody else. That's the sort of role that, I don't know, like, no matter what, it'll, like, she'll sing it great. I'm sure it would be beautiful, but, like, out of her comfort zone. I want to see her get interesting roles.
Mm.
Speaking of interesting roles, Carly, we still have to watch Gooby Jin with me.
Yes, yes, I do.
Daimon is amazing in that show. She plays like the daughter of like a mayor, and her father gets killed, so she dresses up as a boy to revenge him, and like goes and sneaks into the camp of the enemy, and it's just really good.
I really want to see that. We're gonna do it. That's
All right.
Cool. Anything else to add about Daimon Gumi that is about to happen? I would like to mention the fact that Ayakaze Sakina is going to have a show, a Bauhall.
Yes.
And it's going to be about Captain Nemo.
I
And
don't think it's Bauhall. I think it's Seinenkon and Drama City.
oh, okay. But like,
Which is even better.
I immediately got. I don't know if you've seen the film Life Aquatic, but I got like the poster to Life Aquatic in my head, but like with Ayakaze Sakina sitting in the boat with a weird hat on, and I was just, yes, I don't know, but it seems as though it's going to be something really cracky. Like, why would they do Captain Nemo and not make it really cracky?
I guess I hope they make it really cracky.
I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't know. That's not what I thought. But now I'm all for Life Aquatic starring Saki, or anyone else for the matter. That would be amazing. I'm like, who's gonna do the guitar player who has all like the soundtracks? So he's gonna have to be on stage. Anyway, no. But I thought I immediately thought steampunk kind of thing.
Yes.
More. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm thinking like Disney Sea. They have in Tokyo and all. They have all these Jules Verne inspired, like this Jules Verne inspired country. I can't remember the name of it, but
Oh, that would be great too.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think.
Didn't they? Did it? I know you guys see I Love Einstein. Wasn't that kind of like a steampunk thing?
Yes. I haven't seen it. I've only seen pictures, but yeah, that's kind of the style I imagine Captain Nemo to be in. But yeah, since they already done it, maybe they won't do it again.
Oh, since I Love Einstein seemed to be very popular, they might go with it again just
Yeah.
to cater to
True.
that. But I wonder how they're going to deal with the whole, split troop thing, since there's not that many people in Yukigumi. There's going to be less people in Yukigumi. They're going to get some new people, but
I don't
how are
think
they going to
they're
deal
going to
with
get
this?
new people, but are the 103rds going to be in that show?
I don't know.
It seems soon.
Oh.
When is it?
It's the I think it starts at like the end of August. It's the first shows after the next Grand Theater show, which ends in July. So like end of August, beginning of September.
Okay. So, and they usually for the short shows, sometimes they only have like 3 weeks to rehearse. So I could see them having the new members in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they'll be assigned by then. Do they normally jump right in? I feel like do they always have that period of time where they kind of travel between troops, or does that just happen sometimes?
That was a new thing, and then they've stopped doing it. So I think they.
Okay.
I bet they have 2 or 3. Like the ones that they think are really promising, they'll put in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they need to bring back? My brain's not working. I can't think of the names of these shows. What is the name? The Bauhall Nihon Mono about Koi no Yamatoji. It was the one that they did in the 70s. It was like one of the first Bauhaus shows, and it had like all the cool like electric guitar music, but it was a Nihon Mono, and the sets are really, and it's got like the really, really, really famous Sekai no Hitotsu, the song where they're like dying in the snow. God.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Are you thinking of Lover's Suicide?
Yes.
Where they're dying in the snow?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They
just did that kind of recently.
Yeah. But Daimon could do that one.
Soa did that. That's a good show.
Yeah.
Very sad, though.
Yes. But funny, too. Like, there's some hilarious scenes in there. I just watched the OG version that they did a few years ago. It was really, really good.
Mm.
I'd had it on DVD for years, and I finally put it in to watch it, and I was like, this is amazing with older casts. Why didn't I watch this before?
Oh.
Who was in that?
They brought back a lot of the original cast from the 70s.
Wow.
Yes.
Jen, I need to come to your house.
Please do.
Let me know when they clean up all those trees that fell down in Rochester. Maybe I'll come up.
Yes. Yeah, it's a little dangerous out here right now. Anyway, sorry, I took you guys off track again.
That's okay.
とっても大丈夫. So, is there anything else that we would like to talk about today?
I feel like we didn't really talk about Maya Kiho at all.
Yeah.
But she hasn't performed with Yukigumi yet, so it's hard to say, like, how she's gonna... I mean, I'm sure she's gonna mesh just fine, but... So, for anyone who doesn't know her, I guess she started off in Hanagumi, and then they switched her to Hoshigumi in one of those moves that looked like she was gonna be the next top star of Hoshigumi. But... So she and Diamond have a little bit of a history. She was on Diamond's Brilliant Dreams Plus Next, and they sang a very pretty duet. And now here they are again. Sorry, that's like all I have to offer, but
I think they're gonna look so great together.
Acknowledge her properly. They're gonna be great. Yeah.
They're gonna kill it.
Yeah, I feel like Diamond had a bit to say in this as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is nice.
There was during all of the speculation of like, is it going to be Michiru? Is it going to be Arisa Hitomi? Then there was one day that Diamond went to watch the Hoshigumi Shinjin Koen, and we were like, oh, neither maybe. And then next thing you know, Maya Kiho is coming to Yukigumi. So yeah, it certainly looks like she had something to say about it. But actually, I think Benny also had something to say about it. Like, I think I think her picking Airi as her partner kind of opened the door for this to happen also.
Mm.
Yeah. Have we ever really talked about Senna Ayase becoming Musume top star in Flower Troop? Maybe we could throw her on at the end here.
Yeah,
I feel like we did. We at least mentioned it at some point. I don't know if we really like went in depth, but what are they doing right now? Are they touring? Is she doing it? What's going on in Hanagumi?
Okay, so right now they are
Lola,
still
what's going on
in
in Hanagumi?
rehearsals. They're still in rehearsals
Okay.
for the national tour that's going to start in Umeda on the 18th of March. So that is in a
Okay.
week.
Yes. Okay.
And then they're going to go on the Senkoku tour, and then they're going to start rehearsals for Yamataikoku, I think. Yes, that
I'm-
should be it.
Super excited for that, by the way. Speaking of red wine again. Just to bring things full circle. So yes, Senna Ayase has not made her official on-stage debut as top star of Hanagumi yet, but will very shortly.
And I am pretty sure she's going to be epic.
We were just talking about how she is. Lost my train of thought. We were just talking about how like all the top Musume Ako were really young, but I think they're actually getting older again,
Yeah.
and she's a good example of that. Like she's gonna be Ken 10.
Yeah.
She starts out. I mean that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And it's nice if only to know that that's still an option, like that anybody could make it at any time.
Yes.
Although to be fair, media probably had a lot to do with the choice of Senna Ayase.
Yeah, I think so too.
So not to like kill off the enthusiasm or anything, but
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
that's true a lot of the time, and obviously the Otokoyaku top stars don't tend to pick the older Musumeyaku, so more power to you, Medio.
yeah. And also, you know, there are these thoughts floating around that they might have made that choice because they are thinking of retiring together, which would mean that, you know, because they don't want to cut anyone's career short. They, you know, Senna Ayase was chosen because it would be nice for Mirio to taidan with her. And then
Yeah, I
that
can see
would
that.
mean that her taidan would happen pretty soonish, but I don't want it to happen soon because I feel as though we need to get a lot out of Senna Ayase because I feel that she has a lot to bring to the table as Hanagumi's top star because I don't know, I just really love the mature female voice, and Senna Ayase is a great example of that, and I would love to see her in as many shows as possible, bringing her whole essence to it, and I just want to see a lot of her. I don't want it to be a really short top star run for her. I want her to be top star for quite a while, very selfishly.
Agreed. You know what? I'm looking at her page on Takawiki. She never had a Shinjin Koen lead. That's crazy.
Yeah, she was
That is-
Sophie in 2014's Elizabeth. But that's yeah.
She played Carlotta in Phantom. I mean, she's had big roles, but she never had a Shinko lead. That's kind of cool.
Has that ever happened for a top Musumeyaku before? Or is she the first?
I want to say it might have for some of the very, very young ones, but I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. Something to look up.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Like there are so many from back in the day who made top at like Ken 2. Like I doubt Kuroki Hitomi had a Shinjin Koen lead. I think she just was born a top star. But I've never looked.
Right. No, I mean, Senayas has had lead roles before. She, in Forever Gershwin, she was the lead. And then in Kazuno Jirokichi with Michan. She was the lead as well. And then Takawiki tells me that she was also the lead in For the People, which I have not
She
seen.
was leading For the People.
Yeah, so...
So
not
Shinko leads, but a solid handful of leads, I guess.
Yeah. It's still very unusual though. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy for her.
I think a lot of people are really, really excited about this. I know I am.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I never really followed her myself, but one of my friends really liked her, so who's not even in fandom anymore, but I bet she'd be happy to know.
So unfortunately, the Elizabeth review corner about the 2014 show was recorded before we found out that Sena Ayase was going to make Top Musume. And that was actually one of the things that I cut because it was getting so long that I didn't cover my love of Sena Ayase in that review corner. So I was like, oh, regrets. Because that's like one of my favorite things about Elizabeth 2014 as well, you know, along with the whole Mirio thing, is that I can spot Sena Ayase in so many different scenes because she's everywhere. She's great. She's just all over the place. And that's like one of my favorite things to like look out for in that show. And then I didn't mention it because I was like, no, we've talked too long. Like it's getting a bit long. So I cut that bit. And now I'm like, oh no, I should have talked about it.
Well, we got her in.
I love them. Hi. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope that you are as excited about the future of Zuka as we are, and have a fantastic week. Bye!
Bye.
Many thanks to Michael B. and the Arcanum String Quartet for their wonderful arrangement of Sumire no Hana Sakugoro. And thank you, listeners, for enjoying our podcast.